is appointed by our county council person or county executive and entrusted to monitor renovations and additions to our Baltimore County historic resources. We review and approve nominations to the Baltimore County Preliminary Landmarks List and comment on National Register nominations. Additionally, we are charged with evaluating submissions to the Baltimore County Historic Tax Credit Program that encourages the appropriate maintenance and renovation of designated historic properties. Would the commissioners please introduce themselves by name and county council district or representation? We can go in order listed on the PowerPoint screen. And I will help you with that, Chris Weston, when it's your turn.
Okay.
Thanks, Lily.
This is Lily Mundrow, District 1.
And Chris, now you.
Chris Weston, District 2.
Good, thank you.
Dave.
Okay, Phoebe, you're the next one.
Phoebe Evans-Latosha, executive appointment.
Thank you.
Jamie Ferguson, executive appointment.
And Ed
Ed Horde, executive appointment.
and Vince
Vince Johnson, executive appointment.
and Chris Parks.
Chris Parks, executive appointment.
Thank you. And now we stand to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The Landmarks Preservation Commission operates under the authority, standards, and requirements of Title VII, Article 32 of the Baltimore County Code. We refer to the United States Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation as administered by the National Park Service. This is the accepted national standard for historic preservation projects. Our own Baltimore County Historic Preservation Design Guidelines directly reference and incorporate the Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation. We have important preservation issues to discuss and debate at each meeting. If you would like to make comments, please limit your comments to the specific application or proposal submission being reviewed. We ask for your assistance and understanding so that discussions do not digress. As an additional comment, we can all agree that historic preservation is an important aspect of the quality of life and place that makes Baltimore County unique. As a commission, we seek to recommend significant buildings and places for landmark consideration to the County Council for their final vote. As commissioners, we serve on the commission due to our expertise, interest, and passion for historic buildings and places, and review submissions based solely on their merit. While we may disagree in discussion and voting, we continue to be a collegial body that respects each other personally and professionally. Thank you. And staff reminders next. Jessica, Taylor, any staff reminders?
Oh no, we only have 2 speakers who have registered to comment on their projects, and that's all.
Thank you. Thank you. And consideration of changes to today's agenda. Anybody need to address anything?
There have been no changes.
Okay. And then the minutes for the July 13th meeting, I'm assuming all the commissioners have had a chance to review those. And if so, I ask for questions or in the absence of questions, a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the minutes from last meeting.
Thank you, Chris Parks. A second.
Second, Ed Horde.
Thank you, Ed. All in favor, we can do by voice vote.
Aye.
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 Okay. Any against approving them? Hearing none, they're approved. Consent agenda items. We have identified several items for the consent agenda. Jessica, you want to walk us through that?
Yes, the first is number 5. Those are Houston property at 309 Morris Avenue, Lutherville, County Council District number 3. This is a non-contributing resource in the Lutherville County Historic District. and the applicant proposes the installation of a 42-inch black aluminum fence in the rear yard. Staff recommends to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness as proposed, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Fences and Landscapes, pages 1 through 5, County Code Section 32-7-405. And then the next is agenda item number 6. This is the Watkins property at 709 Clifton Road, Subbrook Park, County Council District number 2. This is a contributing resource in the Subbrook Park County Historic District, and the applicants are proposing an amendment to their previous approved Part 2 tax credit application for additional repairs and in-kind replacements to the front porch. Staff recommends to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness as proposed, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Porches and Steps, pages 1 through 6, County Code Section 32-7-405 and 11-2-201. Next, we have agenda item number 8, the Beverly property at 16202 Corbett Village Lane in Moncton, County Council District number 3. This is a contributing resource in the Corbett County Historic District, and the applicants propose to replace their non-historic metal barn roof. Staff recommends issuing a certificate of appropriateness as proposed, citing Baltimore County Design Guidelines, roofs, pages 1 through 13, County Code Section 32-7-405. Next, we have agenda item 11. This is the Quinn Oakham property at 110 North Beechwood Avenue, County Council District number 1. This is a contributing resource in the Old Catonsville National Register Historic District, and the applicants are seeking Part 2 tax credits for exterior gutter replacement. Staff recommends issuing a certificate of appropriateness as proposed, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, roofs, pages 1 through 13, County Code Section 11-2-201. Then we have the Carpenter property, agenda item number 12. This is located at 713 Pleasant Hill Road in Ellicott City, County Council District number 1. There's a contributing resource in the Oella National Register Historic District, and the applicants are seeking tax credits for repairs to the original German siding, exterior doors, porch, and windows. Staff recommends issuing a certificate of appropriateness as proposed. And finally, we have agenda item number 13. This is the Bacon Crosby House at 2939 Moncton Road in County Council District number 3, final landmark number 62. And the applicants propose to repair 5 existing windows and replace 31 non-original windows. Staff recommends to issue a certificate of appropriateness as proposed.
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica, for going through that. Commissioners, any questions or anything that we need to remove from the consent agenda for more careful discussion? Hearing none, thank you so much to Caitlin and Jessica for identifying these. It could be handled quickly and easily through the consent agenda. And may we have a motion to approve them?
I'll move that we accept staff's recommendation and approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Ed. And a second?
I'll second.
Chris Parts seconds. Thank you. I think we need to do a roll call vote for these, please.
Sure. Could we please have Chris Parts,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Great. Have Lily, please.
Yes.
Phoebe,
Yes.
Vince,
Yes.
Chris Weston,
Yes.
and John, please.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
Thank you. So we will move on to item number 4, Jericho Covered Bridge.
Yes. And I apologize if the screen is a bit blurry. I think we may have some connection issues. And the commissioners should be able to access the materials clearly from the SharePoint drive if you'd like to review any of the materials in detail while we go through the staff summaries. So agenda item number 4, the Jericho Covered Bridge. This is a Baltimore County and Hartford County joint tenant property at the Franklinville Road and Baltimore Hartford County lines. County Council District number 5. This is final landmark number 20. And the applicants propose to remove and replace the timber decking and curb and scupper blocks on the bridge. Just for some background, the bridge is an 86 by 13 foot Burr arc truss bridge that was constructed across the Little Gunpowder Falls in 1865 and connects Baltimore and Hartford counties. The bridge was added to the final landmarks list on October 31st, 1978 through Council Bill number 101-8. The existing bridge decking is a 2x4 traverse timber planks nailed together on the vertical side. The existing decking was previously replaced in 2015 during a major rehabilitation project. The $1.7 million project was funded primarily by a grant from the National Historic Bridge Preservation Program, with Baltimore and Hartford counties each funding a small portion of the project. The 2015 rehabilitation project went through extensive reviews by the Maryland Historical Trust to ensure that the work met the Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation. Baltimore County Department of Public Works has requested to replace the current wood decking system. The application indicated that due to poorly connected deck planks, combined with the daily vibrations of traffic, have caused the planks to shift sideways, creating wide gaps between the ends of the planks and the bridge curb blocks. This has led to safety concerns for vehicles and pedestrians. In addition, several planks are showing signs of wear and tear, such as splitting off. The applicant proposes to remove all of the existing planks and replace with a structural transverse glued laminated timber decking. Structural glulam is an engineered wood product made by bonding structural lumber to create larger members. The proposed material will be 4 feet wide by 4 inches thick single panels, which will span the length of the bridge. The material was selected to provide greater longevity than the existing timber planks. Applicant notes that this is the first project in Baltimore County to propose the use of this material, but that it has been around for years. Additional information from the applicant indicates that the panel does not have a pattern or texture that would replicate the existing timber decking visually. In addition, the plan calls for the removal of the existing timber curb and scupper blocks and to replace with new timber curb and scupper blocks. Staff encourages the Commission to discuss the proposal and its overall impact to the bridge's integrity and impact on the original design intent of the bridge while determining if it meets our guidelines and national standards. Our design guidelines call for the in-kind replacement of deteriorated wood features. The LPC has approved composite decking for historic porches on a case-by-case when the proposal replicates the width, profile, and other visual qualities of the existing material and doesn't cause a great adverse impact to the historic resource as a whole. The National Park Service's Supplemental Resource Guidelines for Rehabilitating Historic Covered Bridges recommends replacing in-kind or with substitute material only those portions or features of the floor system that are either extensively deteriorated or missing, instead of replacing the entire floor system. It is not recommended upgrading the bridge structurally in a manner that diminishes the historic character of the floor system, such as replacing floor beams / decking with non-wood materials or engineered timber. While staff appreciates the applicant's desire to maintain safety, the current proposal does not meet our design guidelines, nor the Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation for historic covered bridge. The proposal does not mention any kinds of repairs to the existing planks, nor does it propose the in-kind replacement of any deteriorated planks. In addition, the proposed replacement material does not replicate the existing plank width, texture, or other visual qualities of the existing decking. Replacement with an alternative material undermines the extensive work that was done less than 10 years ago and will have detrimental impact to the original design intent of the bridge. Staff recommends to not issue a certificate of appropriateness, as the current proposal does not meet our guidelines nor the Secretary of the Interior standards for the reasons stated above. Staff recommends that the applicant review the National Park Service's guidelines for rehabilitating historic covered bridges and to return to the commission with a proposal for repairs that the shifted planks and in-kind replacement of deteriorated planks. So again, staff recommendation is to vote not to issue a certificate of appropriateness as proposed, and citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Porches and Steps, National Park Services Guidelines for Rehabilitation of Historic Covered Bridges, County Code Section 32-7-405. Thank you.
Wow, it's a lot. Thanks, Jessica. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Commission, any comments or thoughts on it?
I had a comment.
Go ahead, Vince.
Okay. I'm just basically going to say I agree with the staff recommendation to not issue a certificate of appropriateness.
Okay.
It just sounds like I didn't hear where they were going to try to repair anything. That's the first thing that stuck out to me.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, the other issue is that it's not replicating the size, the dimension, the look of what was there before. We have these huge planks, which happen to be wood, but they're not replicating the feeling of the bridge. I think it sounds like it was installed poorly and not maintained, or just not installed correctly. Could have been the main cause, but I think it needs to have the same look. This is a beautiful, historic, wonderful bridge, and it should be done properly and to the National Park Service guidelines.
Any other thoughts?
Yes, I wonder if, I was looking at the old, I guess the National Register write-up of what was there before the replacement in 2015. So currently the decking is a 2 by 4 inch, and originally it was 3 by 10. So I'm just curious whether they could investigate, kind of go back to the original structure. And I agree with Ed that I think maybe what was replaced either is not the same thickness, and not maybe the way it was connected is not quite what they originally had. So maybe there is a way to go back to installing something that in fact can last longer without the need to have the glue lamb. I mean, I understand that from a structural and heavier traffic standpoint, maybe you would need to shift, but I think there needs to be more investigation as to what was there originally and how long it lasted and why it failed, in the shorter amount of time. And so rather than going full force and replacing it all to a newer material, is kind of figuring out what the options are as far as the decking.
Good, thank you. I should insert that we kind of had a friend of the court letter from the Harford County Landmarks Preservation Group that concurred with our staff, saying that it was not appropriate. And this bridge spans the river that's the dividing line. So I think technically they may have jurisdiction for some part of it over the water as well. Hearing the comments I've heard, do we have a motion to approve the staff recommendations?
I would move that we approve the staff recommendations and do not issue the certificate of appropriateness as noted in the recommendations.
Thank you, Chris. A second?
I second.
Thank you, Lily. A second. So a vote yes, just to remind the commissioners, doesn't mean yes, they can go ahead. It means no, they can't go ahead. That we're approving the not to issue a certificate of appropriateness. Can we have a roll call vote, Jessica?
Yes, and just to note, John, Chris Weston has joined the
Yes.
meeting online.
Yes, I cut him off on my phone once he sent me that. I wasn't trying to be rude, Chris, but I took you at your word. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Can I have Chris Parts, please?
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Lily,
Yes.
Phoebe,
Yes.
Vince,
Yes.
Chris Weston,
You're muted.
Yes.
There you go. Thank you.
great, thank you. And John, please.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 7. This is the Karas property at 504 Sudbrook Lane in Sudbrook Park, County Council District number 2. This is a contributing structure in the Sudbrook Park County Historic District. The applicant proposes an in-kind vinyl siding and shutter replacements. This will be the existing vinyl siding on the main house and detached garage. The existing vinyl siding has a German style profile and was installed sometime in the 1980s and is showing signs of wear and deterioration. The proposed replacement material is a vinyl cypress siding with cypress corner posts with a faux wood texture. The window capping will be white and the existing fascia soffits will remain. In addition, the applicants wish to replace all 20 existing vinyl shutters on the main house and 1 set on the garage with new vinyl shutters of the same dimension, style, and color. In accordance with the Secretary of the Interior standards, the LPC does not require the removal of an existing non-historic facade material such as vinyl, which can be replaced in kind with vinyl. The National Park Service's Technical Preservation Brief number 8, aluminum and vinyl siding on historic buildings, discourages the use of a faux wood grain to stimulate the texture of wood, as it creates an inauthentic visual appearance, and using a smooth surface texture is more complementary to the historic building. Staff recommends approval with the condition that the replacement siding have a smooth texture. And so again, staff recommends to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness with the condition that the replacement vinyl have a smooth texture instead of a faux wood texture, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Facade Materials, page 7, Preservation Brief number 8, aluminum and vinyl siding on historic buildings, County Code section 32-7-405.
Thank you, Jessica. Commissioners, any comments?
I have a question. The siding currently is a German, meant to replicate a German siding with a hard, bigger reveal. The new one, what they're proposing does not have that. That bothers me, and I think if they're going to put something up, I think they should replicate it with this.
And I have the property owner online. Would you like to ask the owner any questions directly?
Yeah, I think that would be good to hear what
Great.
they.
Okay, Dina, I've just unmuted you.
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Thank you for joining us. We had a question on the siding from one of our commissioners. Ed, you want to go ahead and ask?
Yeah, the current siding replicates a German siding in vinyl. I think you should be replicating what's there, the German siding. Can you find that in your vinyl siding? It also should have a smooth surface, as staff recommended, not a fake wood texture on it. I mean, wood siding usually doesn't have a texture like that, so there's a good reason not to do it. But can you get it in the German siding?
I do not believe I can from the company that I've been discussing this project with, but I can certainly do some more research and see if that is available.
I think it would be more appropriate to replace in kind, which is what you're trying to do.
Okay, and it's called a German reveal?
It's a German siding is what it's, I don't know if there's another name for it, but that's the way I know it.
Okay.
I looked online real quick. They're calling it Dutch lap on the vinyl siding market. I don't know that you can get it without that little fake wood grain on it. That seems to be common to all vinyl siding. I've never seen a true smooth vinyl siding. That's just part of the mold, I think, that it's got that little wood grain in it.
We may have to live with that then.
So Chris, are you suggesting that the product that we're asking for, or suggesting that the commission
Yeah, I
task
mean,
force
that little wood grain texture is not perceptible from 5 feet away, really. It's just endemic to all vinyl siding, but you can get the Dutch lap or the German profile.
Got it. So, commissioners, what I hear Chris saying is that we may be asking for something that's not available by asking for a completely smooth texture, but we may be asking for something that is available on the modification that Ed is talking about. Did I capture that right, Chris?
Do we have a
Exactly,
motion?
yes.
Chris, make a motion.
The very words I wanted to speak.
Sorry.
Oh, it's good.
I can go either way on the profile. So if you feel strongly about the German profile.
Well, it's available, so I think it matches what's there now, or matching in kind.
I make a motion to approve vinyl siding that matches the existing siding in profile.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Vince. And then, so Jessica and
Yep.
Homeowner, I'm sorry, I don't have your name, Ms. Karras, are you clear on what we're asking?
Just a moment. I've muted Dina again. Okay. Ms. Karras, you are unmuted again.
Yeah, great, thank you. Yes, I am very clear, and I will do some
Good.
more research.
And if you have questions, you can always contact our staff.
Great.
And so now we will do a vote on the roll call vote on the motion.
Just one more note to the homeowner. It says that this product's available at Lowe's, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Great. And we'll follow up with some information tomorrow.
Thank you, Mrs. Karras. Okay, roll call vote.
Thank you. Could we please have Chris Parts?
Yes.
Okay, Ed,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Lily,
Yes.
Phoebe,
Yes.
Vince,
Yes.
Chris Weston,
Yes.
and John, please.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Okay, next we have agenda item number 9. This is the Mitchell property at 2101 Mount Carmel Road in Parkton, County Council District number 3. This is final landmarks list number 376, the Davenport House, Bellevue Bank Barn, Wagon House, Garden House, and setting. The applicants are seeking Part 2 tax credit review for repairs and in-kind replacements to the cornice, in-kind gutter and downspout replacements, and dormer repairs. So work item number 1 for the cornice repairs. The applicant notes that the cornice, including soffits, frieze boards, and decorative brackets and fascia, shows signs of wear such as peeling paint, cracks in wood, and rot. Repairs include the following: to scrape and sand areas of peeling paint, fill cracks with weatherproof sealant, replace rotted wood where needed using 7/8 inch white oak, repaint entire cornice using Sherwin-Williams exterior latex paint. And staff notes that the description of the proposed work to the cornice lacks some important details, and that the work will meet our guidelines if the following conditions are met. 1, to remove any cracked or peeling paint by the gentlest means possible, such as hand sanding in conjunction with chemical strippers is generally recommended. A number of commercial paint stripping agents are available of varying strengths and purposes. Select the agent most appropriate to the materials and conditions in the building. Follow manufacturer's instructions and do not sandblast or pressure wash wood surfaces. 2, repair wood features using recognized wood preservation techniques, such as patching with appropriate patching materials, piecing in and consolidating methods. Please submit product specifications for the proposed weatherproof sealant and other patching or consolidation materials to be used to staff prior to the start of the project. 3, carefully remove brackets and drop finales before addressing any repairs or in-kind replacements to the soffit, fascia, and frieze boards underneath. Number 4, document through photographs and drawings the locations and dimensions of any brackets and finales to be removed. Label remove features to ensure they are returned in the exact locations after the repairs are made. Number 5, brackets or finales that are deteriorated beyond repair must be replaced in kind, material dimensions, profile. Please submit any milling specifications for any wood features slated for replacement. Number 6, wood surfaces should be primed prior to repainting. And moving on to work item number 2, gutter and downspout replacement. The existing gutters on the south side of the house are 6-inch half-round galvanized steel that have rusted and pitted with holes. The applicant proposes to replace the existing section of gutter and associated downspouts in kind with a new gutter and downspouts of the same size and material. Work item 3 for the dormers. There are 6 existing gable dormers are clad in German wood siding with standing seam metal roofs that match the main house roof. There are 3 dormers on both the north and south roof slopes. The existing siding shows evidence of rot in the lower corners due to improper flashing. In addition, the paint is showing signs of wear and weathering throughout. The applicant proposes the following: to remove the rotted portions of siding only and replace in kind with new first siding. Reflash where needed using metal remaining from installation of current roof in 2010. Repaint dormers with Sherman-Williams exterior latex in the colors creamy for the trim and downing sand for the siding. Again, staff feels that the proposed work description lacks details and feels that proposed work will meet our design guidelines if the following conditions are met. 1, replacement of siding should match the historic wood siding in shape, profile, finish, design, detail, and dimension. 2, that wood surfaces should be prepared for painting by removing any cracked or peeling paint by the gentlest means possible, such as hand sanding in conjunction with chemical strippers is generally recommended. And again, a number of commercial paint stripping agents are available of varying strengths and purposes, and to select the agent most appropriate for the materials and conditions in the building, and to not sandblast or pressure wash wood surfaces. And finally, number 3, that wood surfaces should be primed prior to repainting. Staff recommendation is to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness with the conditions outlined above, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, windows and doors, pages 1 through 8, roofs, pages 1 through 13, and facade materials, pages 1 through 12, County Code Section 327405 and 11-2-201.
Do we have the owner or representative with us, Jessica?
Yes, one moment. Let me check. I do not see the owners on the
Okay.
attendance list.
Okay, commissioners, any comments? Everything look okay and in good order, apparently?
Mhm.
Hearing none, so may we have a motion to approve?
A motion to
I like-
approve.
And a second?
Second.
Vince, thank you, Vince. And may we have a roll call vote?
Great, can we have Chris Parks, please?
Yes.
Ed? You muted, Ed? Thank you. Jamie, please.
Yes.
Lily?
Yes.
Evie?
Yes.
Vince?
Yes.
Chris Weston?
Yes.
And John, please.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 10. This is the EGH Portfolio Number 2 LLC property at 915 Adana Road, County Council District Number 2. This is a contributing resource in the Subbrook Park expansion, Number 2, Adana Road. This is an ex post facto review for the front door, window, lighting, roof replacements, as well as the removal of the rear porch roof and the installation of a basement egress window. The property at 915 Adana Road is a two-story brick dwelling constructed in 1942 and is a contributing structure within the Subbrook Park County Historic District expansion, Number 2 Adana Road. The property was purchased by Evergreen Homes, EGH Portfolio 2 LLC in February of 2023. Staff became aware of the alterations that were made to the exterior of the home when a permit was submitted for a basement egress window opening in August 2023. A code violation has not been filed for the work previously completed. The present proposal includes information about work completed without LPC review, including window, front door, and roof replacements, rear porch removal, and basement egress window. So work item number 1 for the front door replacement. The previous front entry door was wood and can be seen in old real estate photos, which staff has provided to the commission along with the meeting materials packet. From that photo, staff notes that the previous front entry is not the original door. It was a flat door without panels and a diamond-shaped light at the top. The previous front entry was replaced with a 36 by 80 inch Craftsman unfinished smooth left hand and swing fiberglass door. The prevailing front door style in the district appears to be a single leaf, which with a divided lights on the top half and paneled at the bottom half. While the replacement door does not match the prevailing style in the district and is not the most appropriate choice, staff does not feel that it is a substantial detriment to the district and recommends approval with a notice to proceed as completed. Work item number 2 for the window replacements. The 11 existing window openings were originally fitted with wood divided light windows. The majority of them were 6/6, except the front living room window was a larger 8/8 window. The application noted that they were not in good condition, but failed to provide any detailed images or descriptions of the original windows. From the real estate photos that staff provided to the commission, the original windows appeared to be in sound and repairable condition. All 11 windows were replaced with Simonton single-hung white vinyl windows with 6/6 grills. Our design guidelines state from the real estate photos, the windows appear to, I'm sorry, I have copied the same section. Our guidelines state that the Landmarks Preservation Commission will not approve the replacement of original windows unless their deteriorated condition makes repair impossible. Broken glass, a partly deteriorated sash, high air infiltration, stuck sash, or even deteriorated or broken muntins or sash components do not comprise as sufficient justifications for replacement. Sufficient documentation of windows conditions must be submitted. If the LPC determines that a window is deteriorated beyond repair, it must be replaced in kind, meaning the new window must match the original in material, light, sash, and other component part figurations. Vinyl and metal clad replacement windows are not permitted as replacements on historic buildings or contributing resources in county historic districts. In addition, snap-in or grills in between the glass are not appropriate. Vinyl or metal windows installed in dwellings in the past prior to designation of county historic district or landmark designation do not require to be replaced with historically appropriate windows. The LPC has reviewed code cases where original windows have been replaced in the past. Each are looked at on a case-by-case basis. Staff asks that the LPC consider the individual house, its age, style, and character-defining features, and then look at the defining features of the district as a whole. Staff notes that the primary facade contains the most character of these tiny houses, especially with the attached garage, gable dormers, side entry, and large living window, creating the streetscape of Adana Road. Over the years, many of these homes have expanded in the rear, but the front facades have retained its original character. With the above in mind, staff recommendation is to issue a notice to proceed as completed for the window replacements on the side and rear elevations only, to not issue a certificate of appropriateness or notice to proceed for the window replacements on the front elevation. and to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the removal of the vinyl windows on the front facade, which include 2 6/6 dormers and 1 6/6 living room window, and replace with new windows that match the original in material, light, sash, and other component part configurations, wood divided or simulated divided lights, 2 6/6 gable dormers, and 1 8/8 living room window. Work item number 3, roofing, gutters, and downspout replacement. The previous roof was an architectural shingle roof and was replaced with a GAF Timberline laminated architectural shingles in the same color. In addition, the soffit was replaced with a solid vinyl soffit. The fascia was wrapped in white aluminum foil stock, and the downspouts were replaced with 2" by 3" white aluminum downspouts. Staff has no issues with the completed work, as it appears to be done in kind. Recommendations to include a certificate of appropriateness was as completed. Work item 4, front entry lighting replacement. The front porch light fixture was replaced as the previous one wasn't functional. It was replaced with a designer's fountain Preston 8" black one light outdoor line voltage porch lamp. Staff has no issues with this work and recommends approval. Work item number 5, the basement egress window. The basement has been finished and includes a separate bedroom. The basement currently only has 2 window openings, one on the front elevation below the living room window and one on the side elevation. The previous window was too small to be considered egress size at 31.5 by 31.5 inches. And because code requirements for having a basement bedroom, an egress window well was installed using the existing opening on the front elevation. The window well measures 36 inches from the building front with a depth of 44 inches with a permanent ladder. It will have a low profile cover built on an angle as to divert water away from the property, and it will also be hidden by the landscaping and mulch garden around it. Staff recommends approval as completed. Finally, work item number 6, the rear porch removal. Though not described in the application's description of work section, it was noted in the photograph submitted by the applicant. A ground level concrete patio located on the rear had a 1-story shed roof supported by simple wood posts that appeared unstable. When it was removed, and staff has no issues with its removal as located in the rear and recommends approval as completed. So the following staff recommendations are as follows. For work item number 1, to issue a notice to proceed as completed. Work item number 2, issue a notice to proceed as completed for the window replacements on the side and rear elevations only, and not to issue a certificate of appropriateness or notice to proceed for the window replacements on the front elevation, but to instead issue a certificate of appropriateness for the removal of the vinyl windows on the front facade, which include the 2 6/6 dormers, 1 6/6 living room window, and replaced with new windows that match the original in material, light, sash, and other components. Oh gosh, where am I? Work item number 3 through 6, to issue a certificate of appropriateness as completed, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, windows and doors, pages 1 through 8, roofs, pages 1 through 13, County Code Section 32-7-405. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. It's a lot to take in. Is the owner or representative with us?
Yeah, let me pull up our attendees list. Yes, we have Spencer Brown and Greg McGarrivo from here we are.
Mogavero and Spencer Brown, we're on the line.
Great.
Thank you for joining us. I'm going to turn it over to the commissioners to see if they have any questions or thoughts, and we'll come back to you as needed. Commissioners?
I think the staff recommendations are spot on.
Thank you. And any other thoughts?
I have a question on the garage doors. Are they are they remaining currently, or have they been replaced?
Yes, the garage door has been replaced to look exactly like the garage door that was originally there. The garage door that was there was in disarray. We had to remove it. It was in an unsafe It wasn't hinged properly and looked like it could have caused injury. So we removed it and rebuilt it to look exactly like the old existing one and the ones across the street. They all match.
So it's an overhead door or carriage door?
No, it is a barn style door, left and right opening out with a latch in the middle. The hinges are very similar to what was there. They're black hinges. And then there's a black handle on each door.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Lily. Any other questions or concerns?
I have a problem with the side windows as well, because I think you'll be able to see those from the street. The front ones are certainly the most important. And definitely those should be replaced with wood to match what was there originally. But I would add the side windows just because I think they're visible, and unless I'm missing something, I'll go with the consensus, but it's, I would
So do we
recommend.
have a better picture, Jessica, a different picture that shows a kind of a street view that might help Ed with that thought?
Let's see. Some of our images were taken from the street view. I can try to pull something up.
I think you had one of the
I mean, I look at the side, I mean, it looks like particularly the west
Yeah,
side or
Taylor,
east
could
side.
we move up to I think it's the second slide of front, yeah, maybe that.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
visible.
sort of at an angle. Is that what you mean, Ed, where you can see?
I think it's pretty visible from the street.
Any other commissioners share that concern? Maybe not.
Okay,
Then
consensus.
I see. I can't quite tell which angle we're looking at, but certainly there is a way for you to see them from the street. Hearing no other comments, do we have a motion to approve the staff recommendations?
I move that we approve based on the staff recommendations.
Second.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Chris, for that. So may we have a roll call vote?
Chris Parts, please.
Yes.
Ed, please.
Yes.
Jamie. Lily.
Yes.
Edie.
Yes.
Vince.
Yes.
Chris Weston.
Yes.
And John, please.
Yes, and to the owners, thank you so much for joining us and being available for questions. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would just note to the owners that the work to the garage door that we didn't catch in the application, well, that was not detailed in the application, will also need to come back for ex post facto review by the LPC.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. All righty, and now we are moving on to agenda item number 14. Wow, all right, that's it.
Yes,
Our last one.
you're doing great, Jessica. If you can just
Oh,
keep the stamina up.
didn't think we'd see the day. All right, this is the Reed Davis property at 2031 Gore Mill Road in Freeland, County Council District number 3. This is final landmarks list number 162, the Gore's Paper Mill, and the applicants propose to replace the roof and make associated repairs. So the Gore's Paper Mill is a former paper mill and consists of a frame and cinder block structure. The frame portions may date from 1851, while the cinder block portion dates from 1942. The current structure has 2 different roof coverings, which includes cedar shingles, which were installed in 1942 after the original roof, and portions of walls collapsed after a snowstorm, and corrugated metal, which predates the cedar. The snowstorm caused significant damage to the building, which was rebuilt using cinder block. There was no mention of what the roofing was before 1942. And the applicant is proposing to leave the cedar shingles in place and cover with new corrugated metal roof to match the existing metal roofing. The work will include installing new Douglas fir wood strips over the existing cedar shingle roof to support the galvalume panel roofing. The panels will have a 1 1/4 rib spacing with a 1/4 inch rib height in the color dark charcoal to match the color shown in a photograph from the 1980s. Cap flashing, valley flashing, drip edge will be fabricated and installed. Portions of the existing wood fascia and soffit will be repaired and replaced in kind as needed. Additionally, it will be painted to match the existing color. Existing beam along the south elevation will be filled with Bondo wood filler if repaired. If damage is too extensive, it will be replaced in kind. Additionally, a new 6-inch half-round gutters and downspouts will be installed. Since the cedar shingle roofing was installed in 1942 and isn't likely the original material, staff is accepting of the proposal as proposed. And recommends to issue a certificate of appropriateness as proposed, citing Baltimore County Historic Guidelines roof pages 1 through 13, County Code Section 327-405.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a fascinating building. Are the owners with us?
Yes, we have Lisa Reed on call. Lisa, you're unmuted if you have anything to add.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
We
Yes.
can, Ms. Reed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, do I have anything to add? I think I will not add anything at this time.
Okay. I will
Thank
open
you
up,
for listening. I'm very excited to start work on this building.
open it up to the commissioners for any questions, comments, or thoughts.
What's the new use for the building? What are you planning on doing with it?
My husband and I have a few ideas. It's much larger than either one of us will need for our professions. He's a carpenter and woodworker and general contractor, and I'm an architect. And we will probably use the interior, which is still just a dirt floor, for a shop space. Currently, we use the image you see right now is that front portion with the double green doors. There's a little shop in there for my husband. And I'm extremely interested in getting the wheel turning and producing electricity. In the 40s, the owners, the previous owners to us, turned it into an electric generating wheel rather than using the space to continue to make paper, which it had been historically. And I'm very interested in kind of reviving the wheel that still exists in some way to generate electricity to possibly be some kind of like a learning experience for the community.
Wow.
Very nice. Very nice.
Lisa,
You'll see me again.
Lisa, can you talk about why the reason for leaving the existing shingles on the building and then roofing over that? I'm just concerned
Sure.
that you're doubling the load, and are the rafters designed to support that? And
I might do a little bit more investigation on that. The reason for leaving the shingles is because the interior of the space, the interior of the mill building is very beautiful because of the look of the shingles that you can see from below.
Oh, so they're exposed from the underside?
Yeah, so there's just sort of thin ticking underneath there, and then you can see the cedar. And I really wouldn't want to take away that that look. I also think that I'm never going to insulate and like vent and kind of condition that entire space. There'll just be portions that we'll be using. And I think just it's so beautiful, and it's sort of like it's also airy. And I think I wouldn't want to take away the look of it. I think it'll always be inspirational to be in there and to see all that underneath there. So I actually don't want to take it away. I also sort of wanted to respect the building's sort of most structural and sort of most beautiful, I must say, like, feature is the shingle roof. And so I didn't really want to take that away. And so maybe from inside you could see it. It's just extremely like not an economic solution for us and for this type of building for what it is.
Got it.
Good, thank you, Lisa.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions or thoughts, commissioners? Hearing none?
I just have one comment. This is the comment.
Sure, Vince.
It's a really beautiful building. It's intriguing. I'd be interested in seeing what happens going forward.
Well, she just promised us she'd be back, so more will be revealed, I'm sure. So may we have a motion?
I guess, may I ask one more question? I'm sorry to
Sure.
interrupt. The portion of the building that does include the corrugated metal existing, if it's going to be it doesn't necessarily need to be replaced right this minute, and so I don't really want to pay for that section to be replaced right now. But in the near future, if it does get replaced, do I need to come back to you to get that approval?
Yeah, Lisa, you can hold off on any part of your project until you're ready. The only time you would need to come back is if it's something that hasn't been proposed before.
I don't think it was proposed. I think in my proposal I do not include that portion. I was just
I see. Then
if I do
yes.
need to. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully when that happens, you will not be at the very end of a long agenda.
Oh, it was so interesting. I loved it. It was fun. I'm in it. I'm into it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, always good to call ahead kind of whenever you want to do any work on it, and Jessica and Caitlin can advise you. But thank you.
Great.
Okay, commissioners, do I hear a motion then?
I'll make a motion. I vote, I move to issue a certificate of appropriateness as proposed.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Chris Parts. Roll call vote, please.
Great. Could we please have Chris Parts,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Lily,
Yes.
Phoebe,
Yes.
Vince,
Yes.
Chris Weston,
Yes.
and John, please.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much.
And we have some that were tax credits. You want to run through those?
Yeah.
Just
So we have four applications. The first is the Naylor property at 4001 Stewart Road. This is a contributing property in the Green Spring Valley National Register Historic District for Part 2 approval for electrical upgrades, including 400 AMP upgrade, roof repairs, chimney recap, carpentry repairs and painting, well house siding, and cold frame repairs, County Council District number 2. Then we have the Devaney property at 506 Murdoch Road. This is a contributing property in the Annesley National Register Historic District. Part 2 approval for a new HVAC system in County Council District number 6. Then we have the Milan.
Plinlimon.
Yes. Property at 9401 Lions Mill Road. This is final landmark number 70, National Register individual listing commercial Part 2 approval for extensive interior and exterior commercial rehabilitation, County Council District number 4. And finally, we have the Grill Kirks property at 336 Lion Court, landmark number 142, Balmaki. Part 2 approval for electric upgrade, masonry repairs, door and window repairs, plaster and exterior wood repairs, HVAC installation, County Council District number 2. And
Thank you. And then we have the next meeting is October 12th, but before we adjourn, I do want to especially call out Vince and Phoebe and Chris Wesson and folks who made a special effort to be with us tonight so we could have a quorum and move these folks along on their projects. So thank you. I know some of those were more complicated than some of the rest of us. I really appreciate it. Anything
Well,
else?
as Taylor for stepping in tonight.
And, oh, yes, Taylor, how gosh. I thought I had thanked her at the front, but I gotta thank her at the back too. Thank you.
Of course, and I'm so sorry if the screen was blurry. I hope it wasn't blurry the whole time.
Well, all the commissioners are a little blurry sometimes too, Taylor. Truth
We all
be
have the
told.
documents on our,
Yeah.
from the SharePoint site.
But thank you all. Appreciate it. And I know Jessica, this was a heavy pull for you through some of this stuff. So
I was lucky to have my water nearby for sure.
good, good. Thank you. And a motion to adjourn then.
Move that we adjourn.
And a second.
Second.
Good. Thank you, Vince. And we can just by acclamation say yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll see you all in October. Thank
Thank
you.
you. See you all.
Thank you all very much.
Bye-bye.
Safe.
Bye-bye.